What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Deep Dig Sports Pod. I'm your host, Drew, with my other host over there.
What's up? It's D. Good to see you again. Go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. And go ahead and throw some comments in there. We've been seeing a lot of traction, a lot of good conversations in our comments lately. So we'd love to hear from you. Feel free to do that.
Yeah, and make sure you subscribe by Saturday because we're dropping that diamond pick of the week. We made a lot of money last week. We give the best 49ers bet every week. And we're going to make a lot of money this coming week with this Cowboys 49ers game. What are you expecting from this game?
I'm expecting, nonstop. I'm expecting it to be a shootout, if I'm being kind of honest with you. If you look at what the Cowboys do and what the 49ers do, I think the 49ers have a real chance to kind of run away with this, but I mean, we'll see. I think CeeDee Lamb is going to be a problem. I think Tony Pollard is going to be a problem. I think that they have a really good pass rush, but I see the 49ers end up I think their talent just outruns what the Dallas Cowboys have, but I think it's going to be a fun game. I think it's going to be one that's a lot closer than the one last time because if you remember, 49ers are kind of dog walking them until Jimmy G started, being Jimmy G in the second half.
And we definitely don't have Jimmy G walking through that door, even though I think I saw Dave Lombardi tweeted he's out of his walking boot. Jimmy G is walking around the facility. What are your thoughts on all these people before last week saying Jimmy G should start in the playoffs when he comes back healthy? And now, have you seen any of those guys around saying that? I know we ran a poll on Twitter. 100% of you said Brock Purdy should start next week and not a healthy Jimmy G. So are we past that narrative? Is the kind of dream dead for Jimmy G to come back?
Dog, I was done with that like 4 weeks ago. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm
That
talking
was
about
not
all the people on Twitter that
well,
were
they're
still like
they're brain
champion.
dead, bro. They're brain dead. I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's not a real conversation. That's not a real conversation. That's not like that. That was, you know what I mean? That was never going to happen. He's literally in a walking boot up until this week. What makes you think he's actually in football shape? Like, that's stupid, but whatever. And besides that, Brock Purdy's balling out. He looks good, dude. So why are we going to, switch things up when I even said this from the beginning. Hey, if depending on how Brock Purdy looks, I know that the schedule was going to be somewhat easy, but depending on how he looks, if he was dominating, why not just hand this kid the keys? And guess what? He's dominated. He's looked very, very good in all of these wins. So here's the keys. Go ahead and have it, bro. Like, there shouldn't even be a conversation. Yeah, if he's there and he wants to be the backup, even then I'm a little iffy. Like, do we really want a guy that hasn't played in all this time? I just feel comfortable. Let's just let Josh Johnson be the backup. He's been there. He's healthy. He has the wherewithal to do it now. Like, let's just. But if Brock Purdy goes down, we're kind of screwed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with Jimmy coming back as a backup, but I just wanted to bring it up because there was such a wave of fans pre-playoff saying like, "Hey, Jimmy's the guy. He's gonna come back and play." And now, I like specifically ran that Twitter poll after the playoff game. I don't see anyone talking about Jimmy G anymore. So it was surprising to see him like get tweeted about that he's walking. I mean, he's gonna walk straight into free agency, so he ain't gonna play for us. But sticking to the Dallas matchup, I think it's gonna be a close game. I know Niners fans are already chalking up the NFC title game. They're already thinking we're walking in the Super Bowl. But this Dallas team that played the final week of the regular season and last week looked completely different. So I don't know what to expect from the offense. Dak Prescott has games where he can be a great playoff quarterback, and he has games where he can be a very bad quarterback. So it's really on the shoulders of what he can do. When you think about it, yeah, it wasn't as close as the score would tell you the last playoff matchup. But still, it came down to the wire. It came down to that weird quarterback draw play where they ran out of time. So I'm fully expecting this to be like a one-score game.
I think 49ers, I don't know what the spread is, but I would expect them to like backdoor cover this game. I think I had this feel like The 49, it's going to be close. It's going to be a one-score game, and then Dak's going to mess up at the end, and the 49ers are going to drive it down and score. Just have that feeling. But I've been saying it all year. I was telling you all year, hey, the Cowboys are actually looking pretty legit. The Cowboys are, not a team to be scoffed at. They have, again, Zeke looked good this year. Tony Pollard looks better than Zeke. Dak, if he's actually on and not throwing picks, they have some weapons at wide receiver. Their defense, Micah Parsons is a really good linebacker. So just one of those things, like, you just can't sleep on him. But if we're going toe to toe, the 49ers have a better team. If you go like, okay, well, who's their best defensive player? It's Micah Parsons. Well, our best defensive player is Nick Bosa. He's better. If you like go at every level, the 49ers have better assets. So it's just one of those things. Like, I feel like that talent is going to shine through. And that's what happens in these playoff games is it's just like the NBA where, hey, like one superstar can make the difference. Well, yeah, well, look at our receiving core. Look at the offensive weapons that we have compared to what they have on defense. Like, I think it's going to show through, dude.
Yeah, we'll see. The things that worry me is like, yeah, Trevon Diggs gives up a lot of touchdowns. I think he gives up like more than the 49ers cornerbacks combined this season. But he does jump the ball a lot. He's a guy that's boom or bust for him. So he's going to be going for the pick no matter what. And even if he does give up a touchdown or two this game, if he can make a couple big plays that swing momentum, that's going to be tough for this 49ers team to bounce back with a rookie quarterback in a close game. And then you have Micah Parsons. If they put him, I would expect them to let him play a little bit more linebacker to kind of control that run game and not get beat so much on these like counter plays and the wide receiver jet sweeps and all this stuff that 49ers mix up. But if they do line him up as just strictly defensive end and say, go get Brock Purdy, there is a chance of him making a big play or two there. As far as their offense, CeeDee Lamb is someone that scares me too. Like, yeah, their running back group is going to do whatever they do. That's going to be the key matchup is what can the running backs do against our defense, which is really good against the run. But CeeDee Lamb is someone I fully expect to eat against our defense, like regardless of how good they play, because that's what the 49ers defense is going against like a really good receiver. We just give up yardage to him. Like, look at this last game. DK was going off on us. And if Cowboys can key in on that and make that a focus and keep going to it, it's going to be tough to stop them or slow that matchup down. But everything else is going our way. Like, our offense is rolling. Our defense is looking amazing right now. The linebacking core is flying. And the secondary is looking good with Deshaun Gibson back there. And Ufunga worries me a little bit in this game, but if he can like play down in the box and really take care of Zeke and Tony Pollard, that's all we need him to do. Just don't get beat deep.
Yeah, and I think the matchup is going to be Diamador Lenore on CeeDee Lamb. I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to be looking for. That's what they're going to be trying to exploit. So, I mean, Diamador Lenore did look good this past week. If he can continue that play, of course, CD is going to have some receptions because that's just how the game works. You know what I mean? But if he can keep him contained, I don't really see Tony Pollard, busting out mega runs on this defense. I don't really see, Zeke doing it. I don't see Dalton Schultz doing it. Like, so that's going to be the one matchup that's going to be the key matchup to watch is that Diamador Lenore on CeeDee Lamb.
Any worry with Mooney Ward on CeeDee Lamb? Because yeah, he's been great. He's been great this season, but there has been times where like there's a deep ball 50-50 and he's like out of it. He's jumping too soon. He's like falling down before the ball even gets there. And that kind of worries me a little bit. Like, hey, is there going to be a moment where Dak just chucks it downfield and Mooney like is stumbling over his feet?
No, I mean, so it's hard as a defensive back because one play can make it look like you had a shit day. But if you think about it, like how many times are they actually even throwing it to Ward's side? Not very often. You know what I mean? So like all that has to be taken into account. Like he's all over these dudes. And yeah, maybe that's gonna happen, but if you're gonna go 1v1, like I'm taking Ward over every other DB on our team. You know what I mean?
True. I mean, it's gonna be a good matchup, guys, and make sure you subscribe by Saturday because we're gonna make some money on this. We're gonna put some bets, and we'll go over the spread and all that later. You got anything else to add for this?
Nope, I just think it's gonna be good. Oh, one thing I wanted to ask you. Is the rivalry back?
It depends on how well the Cowboys play. Because
Yeah, I
if
mean,
this is a if this is an easy win, then no, it's not back. If they lose by like 3, okay, we'll start to talk. But
yeah.
I fully expect the 49ers to win. And if we win by 2 scores plus, it's not a rivalry. How can you call it a rivalry if it's not even close? You know?
Yeah, I mean, after beating you last year, if we dog walk you this year, we're gonna play you again next year in the regular season. I want to say like the rivalry's back, like, oh, let's go, fuck the Cowboys. But realistically, like it's like beating your little brother at that point. It's like, okay, cool, like we know what we're gonna do, but yeah, I don't feel like if it's a close game, I'm more than happy to be like, okay, rivalry on. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
Cowboys fans are already trying to flex the last win they had against 49ers, where it was like
Which is like
41-10 or something, where like was it CJ Beathard was the quarterback or
it was back
something?
in 2017. They had to pull out that win
Yeah,
back in
so
like 2017.
49ers Twitter really congrats to you for winning that Twitter battle because you guys were posting all the Cowboys reactions, the fans in the stadium after they lost the game.
Oh, that one guy who cheated on his girl.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if it's close, I'd call it a rivalry, maybe the beginning of a rivalry again. But I don't feel that juice right now. I think it's just like, hey, a team we played recently, and we feel confident against them, and they look good. They look dominant at times this year. I'll give them that. But they've looked soft at times this year too. So I think it really depends on how they come to play.
Yeah, it's all dependent on them. Rivalry takes two. So
All
far
right,
we haven't seen it.
like, comment, subscribe.
Later.